On today's video, are the Chiefs going white on white for Super Bowl 57? We also have a new injury report, and we're going to talk about other NFL news. Stick around.
What's happening, Chiefs Kingdom? It looks like the Chiefs have teased a white-on-white uni selection for Super Bowl 57, which is cool because it's my personal favorite. It's also Lamar Hunt's favorite, the white-on-white combo. Mike, what do you think about it?
The white on white combo is beautiful, man. I love it. They have shown the upper part of the jersey. They have not showed the pants. They still could go with the red. That's the classic. But I kind of want them to go with the all icy whites. I think that would look sleek. We wore that one time this year versus the Chargers. We got a win in week 11. We wore it 2 times last season. We got a 41-14 win in a blowout versus the Raiders. And we also beat the Chargers again last season wearing those white on whites. We also wore the white on white in 2018 versus the Rams on Monday Night Football. That was the 54-51 loss, the shootout to the Rams when the entire city of LA was burning down and the NFL had to have that good storyline in Mexico. So other than that, though, the Chiefs, man, the white on white serves us really well. I think we've wore those 30 times and we're 17-13 according to the Gridiron Uniform Database. And yes, Steve, there is a Gridiron Uniform Database. Why wouldn't there be?
Man, these athletes are so superstitious anyway. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is really bad. I think he talked about it on a small video like last week or something about how he eats the same thing every game day. He wears the same whatever. Like he grew up in a clubhouse for baseball, man. You know how those guys are. They won't change their socks for like 90 days if it means they might win a game. So I think it's funny. It's funny just looking at it like that. Like, well, how do they play in the white on white, or how do they play in the white on red? Or it makes no sense. It has no bearing on the game, but it's just funny to look at. And personally, like I said, I like the white on white. I think it looks good. Let's go out there and win in style, baby.
Yeah, you mentioned baseball. If you guys watch Major League, you know they're rubbing Joe Boo back there. They're rubbing Joe Boo. These marbles, they're rubbing the Joe Boo. So yeah, it's total superstitious. I'll throw out one last stat. We'll move on. 36 of 56 Super Bowl winners have worn the white jersey, Steve. So the Eagles got to pick first. They picked the green. We're going to take white, and we've got a big shot of getting this if you go by numbers and superstition. Joe Boo, let's rub him.
Well, we got to see our first look at the injury report for the Super Bowl, and it doesn't look good for us right now, but it is early, so don't freak out. It has Willie Gay, L'Jarius Sneed, Kadarius Toney, Juju Smith-Schuster, Mecole Hardman, and Trey Smith. So that's some big names that are on that injury report right now, but they haven't even really started practicing yet. So nothing to go crazy about, but definitely something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, they're going to hit the field Wednesday, Thursday. We'll know more about it then. Mecole Hardman, pelvis, that's a problem. Juju's knee, that's a little bit of a problem. Kadarius Toney is actually listed ankle/hamstring. So when we watched him make that cut the other day versus the Bengals, Steve, we looked at each other. We were like, that dude just juked himself into an injury. He cut so violently. But let's hope he gets it together. L'Jarius Sneed, he only played 4 snaps. He got himself a concussion. His concussion thing is starting to get pretty concerning. He's taking hits like that to the head almost every other week. It's starting to get crazy. But Trey Smith, Willie Gay, that was an ankle and a shoulder. They're limited. They should be fine to go. I thought it was great that we didn't see Kelsey or Fortson. Fortson actually got 14 snaps back from that elbow injury, so he looked to get through it unscathed. And then, of course, you still got Clyde on the IR, so they don't have to designate him to any kind of injury. But yeah, I think it could have been worse. It could have been better. But as you said, we got a few extra, days to get recovered, and I think we're going to be fine.
Right. Well, I don't see any of those guys really missing except for maybe Mecole Hardman, possibly. But I just don't see Kadarius Toney letting a hamstring/ankle stop him from playing in the Super Bowl, as well as the other guys. If they can go at all in any shape or form and not hinder the team, they're going to go.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think if I was Juju, I'd want to set out my first Super Bowl appearance. Kadarius Toney, same thing. I kind of thought it was strange Kadarius Toney didn't get back in the game versus the Bengals. That may have been a coach's call because that kid acts like he wants to play. He even lied about his hamstring injury so he could get on the field faster than he could earlier.
Well, you mentioned snap counts. Sky Moore actually had his season high with 43, obviously due to injuries and stuff, but he stepped up and played nicely. What else did it look like out there, Mike? Who got some snaps?
Dude, so glad to see them rely on Sky Moore a little bit. Marcus Kemp actually had his highest number of offensive snap counts. That is crazy, but that also shows you what the MVP was working with on the day. Some other notable ones. Pacheco outsnapped Jerick McKinnon. I think that's the first time that's happened in a while. Jody Fortson again had 14. snaps with that elbow back from the IR. He got through that. Jalen Watson, this was the one that impressed me the most. Only him, Nick Bolton, and Juan Thornhill played 100% of the defensive snap counts. That was huge. Jalen Watson played like a dog. That dude has been big this year. So that is amazing. Leo Chenal, that's the other notable one. He had his lowest snap count he's had since week 12 versus the Bengals. So something about the way Leo plays the game, something about what the Bengals were doing. Leo was not on the field very often.
Well, with the Bengals, they like to try to get a good matchup on those linebackers with their receivers and their halfbacks and stuff like that. Leo's not very good in coverage. Obviously, Nick Bolton's not that great in coverage either, but Leo's right there beside of him. So leaving him on the field a lot and having Brian Cook off the field didn't seem like the thing to do. So that was smart by Spags.
What I found crazy was Kadarius Toney, maybe our most shifty, explosive wide receiver, only got to play 4 snaps before he was injured. And then L'Jarius Sneed, our best cover corner, only got to play 4 snaps on defense. So if you would have told us before the game started, Kadarius Toney's going to get 4 snaps and L'Jarius Sneed's getting 4 snaps, and you guys are still going to win, we wouldn't have believed you, to be honest. I don't think anybody would have believed that. Hardman got to go 15 snaps before he left with that pelvis injury, and then Juju managed 31 offensive snaps. So Mahomes played for the majority of the game without some big time weapons, and that just gives him more props. I think that sealed the deal on that MVP, to be honest.
So Tom Brady retired again. Big news for everybody except for me. I didn't really care. I thought it was kind of stupid. It's like we already did this last year, so see ya, bye. You kind of sucked this year anyway. Mike, what do you think about it? I mean, obviously one of the greatest to ever play the game, Bill Russell
Right.
of the NFL. So yeah, he's gone finally. You don't think he'll try to pull some crap and come back again, do you?
I'm not writing that off, to be honest. I could see maybe the 49ers throwing him out something else. I don't know why you would want to unretire, cause yourself to have to get a divorce, suck all season long, not even barely limp into the playoffs, get walloped in the first round, and then decide to retire again. Kind of makes no sense. It kind of seems unclimactic for Tom Brady's career to go out like this. It's very strange. I could definitely see him come back again. Yeah, so for the time being, it is what it is, but I mean, Tom Brady was great. Let's be honest. He was greatness. He's probably the best to ever play the position. But yeah, I don't know if he's going to stay retired. Let's be honest.
Did you know that the only team that Tom Brady didn't have a winning record against over his entire career was the Kansas City Chiefs? He went 5-6 against the Chiefs. We managed to shut Brady down more than the rest of the league, so that's an accomplishment.
That is an accomplishment. And Patrick Mahomes had what, 2 or 3 of those, I think, right?
Hey, Buffalo is 33-3 against Tom Brady in his career. That is insane, dude. Like he absolutely mopped up that division, and that's why he kept getting the 1 seed and kept, going to the Super
Wait,
Bowl over and
wait.
over again.
They 3 games out of
Three.
36.
Dude, yes, that's what he was working with over there in that freaking poverty division. It was insane, dude. And the rest of the teams didn't do any better. The Dolphins were just as bad. The Jets were just as bad. It was crazy, but it kind of puts things into perspective for you when you look at it that way. But yeah, Tom Brady, I don't think he'll come back. He probably should have went ahead and retired last year. Went out on a higher note because it did kind of put a damper on it, if you ask me. But I don't think he'll come back. I think he's taking his medicine. He's going to go ahead and get into broadcasting. He's got that huge deal with Fox for like $365 million. So I would expect to hear him, calling some games next year, Tony Romo style.
You're right. But let's move on. We actually talked about Derek Carr yesterday a little bit, making the Pro Bowl. We talked about the biggest Denver move of all time, trading for a coach in the offseason while the Chiefs are going for a Super Bowl. We left out the Chargers. So last week, the Chargers actually did make a move. They hired Kellen Moore, offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, after they got beat in the playoffs. Steve, what do you think of Kellen Moore going now to the Chargers? Do you think that's going to make them any more lethal versus the Chiefs?
No, I don't. I thought it was an odd move for Kellen Moore. Like, why make a lateral move from the Cowboys, who were highly successful this year, over to the Chargers? They did make the playoffs this year. They have Justin Herbert. But I mean, overall, I feel like Dallas is in a better position. I don't think Dak's ever going to get them, further than he did this year. But I mean, Justin Herbert has not proved to do that either. So I don't know. It's an odd move for me. But am I worried about it personally for the Chiefs and for the future of the AFC West? No, I don't think it's a big difference.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Herbert's a much better quarterback than Dak Prescott, to be honest. Um, the running back, I'd probably give the edge to the Chargers as well. The wide receiver core, probably a little advantage to the Chargers as well. He's probably dealing with a lot better player personnel. Again, it's tough to come in and beat the Chiefs. It's tough to come in. The Raiders will have a decent team next year. The Broncos always have a decent defense. He's not going to come in and take this division by storm by any means. So again, I don't really know what the move was. I don't think it advances his career in any way. So we'll see. Maybe he thinks that he just needed a good quarterback and he's going to be able to ascend to the head coaching ranks. I don't know.
So if the Chiefs can go out and get the job done against the Eagles, man, they have planned for a parade on the 15th of February. So hopefully we'll be going to Kansas City on the 15th of February to celebrate our second Lombardi in 4 years, Michael.
Yeah, that's going to be great. They said if there's weather problems, they could push it to the 16th. So 15th, 16th, keep that open on your calendar. We're going to go out. We're going to take care of the Eagles. We're going to get that parade. I was in Kansas City for the last parade, and let me tell you, it was cold and it was crazy. We waited all morning long just to see Patrick Mahomes go by chugging a beer at about 60 miles an hour on the back of a fire truck. They were behind, and so I waited all morning in freezing below temperature just to see a glimpse of Patrick Mahomes say, pew. It was crazy. I was like, damn.
Totally worth it.
Hey, I should have went to Union Station. That was my bad.
Totally worth it.
Hey, this year we're going to Union Station.
So we did our best today to leave the Bengals alone and their fans alone, but we're not going to let you slide that easy. You still suck. You still lost. And enjoy watching the Super Bowl from your couch. And we talked more about this yesterday in our video right here. Make sure to watch that, get in the comments, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the bell. That way you get notifications when we come out with new videos. And we'll be back tomorrow with more on your AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs, as the Bengals fans sit at home on their couch.
Happy L Day.